Hey there. Welcome into the Ben Maynard program. Thanks for being here. It's Friday night and I'm in Seattle. So, Friday night live from Seattle. Yeah, how's that? Well, starting a few minutes later than I normally would on a Friday night live, but I didn't put out a notification anyway. So, nobody knew that we were doing this live tonight. And so, I probably won't even have anybody watching. But if I do, it'll be you right there. Yeah, right there. Whoop, whoop. Uh-huh. And me right here. So thanks. Appreciate it. Before we get started, as you know, this program is available wherever podcasts are streaming. Wherever you get your podcasts, that's where the Ben Maynard program is available. If you are watching on YouTube, because you can't resist all this right here, even in Seattle, you can't resist it. Then thank you for doing so. I appreciate it. But got a few favors to ask. First, subscribe to the channel. Okay. Hit the notification bell. Give me a thumbs up and leave a comment because I like your comments. Been getting some good comments recently on one of the past episodes. Was the Kiss studio albums ranked? So yeah, getting a lot of views lately on it, and getting a lot of good comments, a lot of good feedback. So it's fun. It's fun. Thanks for everyone who participated in that and has participated in it. Yeah, greatly appreciate it. So just keep on doing so. And whatever episode it is you watch, comment, send some comments, give me some thumbs ups. Thumbs ups. Yeah. Didn't sound too good. Anyhow, last but not least, follow me on Instagram. Simply Ben Maynard Program, all one word. So with that, there are plenty of ways to take in this show for your dancing and listening pleasure. And with that, again, it's Friday night in Seattle and we're live. How's that? And check it out. I'm right here in the hotel room, right in my room. There's my bed. That's my laundry. I did my laundry. Okay. All right. Let's just get this going. First, I'm seeing myself here, and yeah, it looks pretty bad. I look pretty terrible. I look really pink, and except for like right around the eyes. I have a big red nose, and I look a little pink. And I think that has a lot to do with the weather up here, the how cold it is. I notice that at the end of every day, I'll see myself in the mirror, and that's painful enough as it is. But I notice that my cheeks are red, and yeah. So I think maybe the weather has a little bit to do with it. Well, I know it does, but maybe the lighting in here too is not, well, obviously it's not great, but maybe that has a little bit to do with why I look so pink. Either way, whatever. It is what it is. I haven't even showered yet. Normally I shower before Friday night live or any episode really. But haven't done so. So you got me like this. Uh so what's been happening in Seattle? Let's see. I'm up here with two other colleagues from work, Carlos and Jose. We all came up here this past Saturday. So I think that was not the 6th, the 4th. Yeah. So we've been up here since the 4th, and um, we were able to get an extra day to settle in and get some things done for me. I'll go into all that later. And then we started work on Monday. And so we are through our first week. Now we were initially scheduled to be here for 2 weeks. So we have one more for sure. However, we are at least, I think all three of us, I'm not sure, are looking to possibly extend our stay for the entire month. So we'll see how that goes. All right. Anyway, So what's been happening? It's just been working our butts off in the cold, and I think everybody uh, is familiar that it rains 300 days out of the year in Washington, and especially the Seattle area, the Pacific Northwest. Let's just put it that way. But I think today was the first day no, Sunday. Sunday it rained a little bit, just drizzly. And then today was really the first day we've gotten a considerable amount of rain. I mean, not a lot, just sprinkled for quite a bit of the day. Got something on the screen here. Let me get it off. And yeah, so it's great. Not only that, but the last time I was here, which was 3 years ago this month, I was here for the entire month of January, and I saw the sun a total of 2 times the entire trip. Well, hey, already this week, I've seen the sun 3 times. We had 3 days with sunshine. That's awesome. It's cold, it's great, I love it. And I don't care if the sun shines or not. It doesn't matter to me. I'm just loving it, loving the cold, and, just, kinda loving the area, just trying to take it all in. So you can see, certainly this isn't anything like the studio. The lighting is different. Uh, I don't have a camera. I'm just using whatever the camera on the laptop. No microphone. I did bring it. I did bring my USB microphone. Is right over here. I did bring it, but kept it in the box. I did a little test to see how things sounded. Everything sounded great. So I just figured, well, we'll just leave it alone. Don't mess with greatness, right? Yeah. Um, so what else has been going on this week? Well, I'm trying to keep things as as close to the comforts of home as possible. Not doing such a great job of that. My room has a refrigerator that's, oh my gosh, it's like about the size of a microwave oven. So I can't put much in it. I did hit up the front desk to get me another one, to get me a backup, and so they did send one up. It took a couple days, but they sent one up, and yeah, it's been plugged in. I put water in it, Gatorade, stuff like that, but it's not really keeping anything cold. I don't want to be like a big complainer. I don't want to be that guy that's like, oh my gosh, this guy from California, all he does is complain, complain, complain. But I need things cold, so I don't know. I may have them change it out. We'll see how that all plays out. Um, so I'm trying to deal with that. And speaking of microwaves, I have no microwave oven in the room. Which, how am I supposed to heat up my breakfast? I'll get some frozen breakfast sandwiches or whatever, and heat them up when I do this and I travel for work. But no microwave. What gives? So I've been up again. You know what I've been having for breakfast? I've been having cold Pop Tarts for breakfast. I have my milk. I actually poured a cup of milk right here. Oh, you like that? Yeah. Doesn't look good on camera. Did that last week at work. Yeah, it doesn't look real good. So that's really, that's kind of what's been going on up here. We've been working quite a few hours, quite a bit. Um, it's all good. I think we've all put in close to probably close to 60 hours this week. Um, but it's good. It's fine. It's what we're here for. We're here to work. So today is January 10th. January 10th. And uh, today is, we're just going to have some fun today. It's going to be Come on, pop up here. Today, on January 10th, is National Save the Eagles Day, and not the football team, but the bald eagle, guardians of the skies, uh, majestic creatures that symbolize resilience and grace, reminding all of us the importance of persevering, or that we should preserve, I should say, their noble, great, noble legacy. Love eagles. Eagles are great. Eagles are awesome, and you see a lot of them up in this up in this region of the country, and even more so the further north you go. They're huge in Alaska. You can look up in the pine trees and see all these little. Depending on how far off you are, see all these little white golf balls inside the tree, and those are all bald eagles. It's all their heads. It's a pretty cool sight. Anyway, so it's National Save the Eagles Day. Okay, so let's get it done. I see people popping in and out. It's okay if you don't stick around, it's fine. But I would love if you did stick around. Just stick around for a few minutes. This is all loose. It's loose. Friday Night Live from Seattle. It's loose. We're having a good time, I think. I'm having a good time, So I got to make sure that you have a good time too. So what about birthdays? Let's see. Birthdays today on January 10th. Jared Kushner. Jared Kushner turns 44 today. Now, let's see. Jared Kushner is a businessman. He's a political figure. And probably half this audience, if not more, would recognize him as being President Donald Trump's son-in-law. So happy birthday to Jared Kushner. And then also today on January the 10th is the 76th birthday of Big George Foreman. Yeah, Big George. Love that guy. Businessman, philanthropist, and of course, former heavyweight champion of the world. I think it was around 1970, what was it? I don't know, like 73 or 74, something like that. And I think he won the title, and I'm just going off the top of my head here. I think he won the heavyweight title from, I believe it was Joe Frazier. I think he had a couple of title defenses, and then of course he takes on Muhammad Ali. I think that was that the Thrilla in all these fights have big names. Was that the Thrilla in Manila? I think so. But it was the rope-a-dope, first whatever 6 rounds or 7 rounds or whatever it was. George is just putting it on Muhammad Ali, just putting it on him. And everybody thinks that, what's Muhammad doing in the ring with this guy? Because George was known as a big, huge puncher, giant paws, big, giant mitts. I know for me, at 20 years old, 25 years old, there's no way I'm going to take a punch from George Foreman with those big old paws. Boxing glove or no boxing glove. No way. Big old puncher. So he's putting it on Muhammad Ali, and then all of a sudden, just like that, Muhammad turns the tide, and he just starts whooping up on Big George, knocks him out, reclaims the heavyweight title. George pretty much goes into retirement shortly thereafter, retires from boxing, and I don't recall how. I think he had a couple of fights after that and just wasn't the same. And I think it just messed with his head, losing that fight that he probably should have never lost to Ali. But then what happens? About 1988, George decides he's going to come out of retirement because he wants to earn. He wants to make money for his church. He'd become a preacher, needed money for his church. And so he comes out of retirement. I think he was 38 years old at the time. 38? Yeah, I think he was 38 at the time. Comes out of retirement, works his way into it, well, kind of shape, was getting ripped on and teased left and right because he's this big old fat guy now, and he's got his head shaved now, and he's acting all goofy, where his demeanor was completely opposite of what it had been just 10 years prior, where he was just this big menacing guy, and now he's playful and joking and kidding and eating cheeseburgers in front of people, training for fights, eating cheeseburgers. Cheeseburgers was his thing. That's his big thing, cheeseburgers. And then, you know, he starts fighting all these guys, and I don't even remember all the guys that he fought, but let me see. Leading up to, I think it was 1994, 95, um, leading up to that point, I believe George had lost only one fight, and it might have been the one prior to the one I'm going to talk about. Uh, he fought Evander Holyfield, and he had lost to him. I remember watching that fight, and it was a great fight. And you've got Evander that was pretty much in his prime, and he was holding the title then, and had a great career, great fighter, and he's certainly outpointing George in this fight because he's quicker, but man, George had like I don't know, just an iron jaw. He was just taking everything that Evander was giving him. And I know at one point, George hit Evander so hard, he lifted him up off the mat in the ring. And I was like, wow, Evander better get away from this guy or it's all over. But Evander ended up winning the fight. I think, like I said, I think that was the only fight that George lost in his comeback. And then a year or so later, maybe 2 years later, he fights who was then, or who had become the heavyweight champion, Michael Michael Moorer, and he was supposed to be great. He had defeated Evander Holyfield and took the title away. I think I have these. I'm just throwing this out. It's just coming off the top of my head, and I think I have this right. So you can all check me. Hang on, let me see something. Let me do something here. Oh, I got a comment. I got a couple comments. Oh, hello. How are you? Your name sounds so familiar. Oh, well, if you're still watching, it might sound familiar because I do a podcast called The Ben Maynard Program. No, I'm not talking about UFC. I am talking about boxing only because I'm rambling about it because I'm talking about George Foreman's birthday. Former heavyweight champ George Foreman. It's his birthday today. And thank you for watching, by the way. So I'll finish this up real quick and then we'll move on. I just thought it was funny and I thought it was interesting when I saw that it was George's birthday. And um, so like I said, Michael Moorer is the heavyweight champ at the time. And George comes in to challenge him. If I remember, the fight went about 8-9 rounds. Oh yes, no, you're welcome. Thanks for being here. Just, keep on watching. If you like it, stick around. Okay. This is not the normal setting. This is not the normal setting for this show. I'm normally in my studio at home, but in Southern California, by the way, yes, I'm speaking to one person who's commenting. Okay. For everyone out there. So now Michael Moorer is outpointing him. He's quicker than George, but like I told you, George has a big punch, big old giant hands, and a big punch, and just a powerful punch. And like I said, I think it was the 8th round, could have been the 10th round, but Michael Moorer comes inside. Hey, thanks. Yes, please subscribe. And Michael Moorer comes inside and George lays one right on top of his head. And Michael Moorer goes down and he is out. He is out. Counted out, done. George Foreman reclaims the heavyweight title and becomes heavyweight champ for the oldest. And I don't think anybody is older than that or has won the title at an older age. George was 45 at the time, and something else. George Foreman, great story, and of course, he sold about a bazillion George Foreman grills, and I think on that deal, he was making like $1 or $2 for every one that was sold. So imagine just how much money he made just on the numbers that have sold. Absolutely just bananas. Do I have a link? I'm not sure what kind of link you're talking about, but so it's good to see that you're from SoCal. So that's good. That's good. And I'm going to try to get your, is it Mias Ter? I don't have let me put my glasses on. Mias Tarot. Like, is it like tarot, like tarot card? See, I didn't see many of his matches, but. Oh, okay. I got you. Oh, well, great. Thanks. Appreciate that. I got it right. Yes. Good for me. So, so happy birthday, George. Yeah, happy birthday, Big George. So let me get into this really quick. I don't know how quick it's going to be, but put the brakes on and we're going to get a little serious, I suppose. And we have a lot of fun on this show. We kid around, and but we do have some serious moments, and I don't want this to get past everyone. I'm sure that most everyone around the nation and maybe even around the globe are pretty aware of the events that are going on in Southern California. And I'll go back to you, Mias Tarot. No, I am not a boxer. I was a tremendous boxing fan up until about 20 years ago. So, there's been some horrific fires. Not just, I don't even want to call them wildfires because some of them didn't even start in I don't know, in what you would consider to be areas that wildfires certainly start in. We had like some crazy winds around the Southern California area. I think that started on Monday evening, maybe Tuesday morning. And it's hard for me to say because I'm up here in Seattle. I'm away from home. I talk to Catherine every day. She kind of fills me in on some stuff. I've tuned into the news a little bit up here, but they weren't really covering much of it the first couple of days. They've been covering it now that it's carried on for about 4 days. So anyway, so there's, I think, currently 5 fires going on, and just the devastation in the areas that these fires have erupted in. We had just the horrible winds, gusts up to 99 miles an hour, wind gusts that, I'm 59 years old. I've never seen wind gusts 99 miles an hour. Okay. And we all know, well, maybe you don't, but if you know, you know. If you don't, I'll clue you in a little bit. Southern California, actually most of California, from about Central California all the way down to the border, is pretty much a desert. It's very dry. Yeah, we have green patches, the mountains certainly, but for the most part, it's very dry. And um, winds kick up. When we get the winds, the Santa Ana winds, we get those winds 2, 3 times, maybe 4 times during the year at different times. And things are very dry, and it doesn't take much to get a fire going. A knocked over power line, somebody tosses a cigarette out a window, somebody gets a wild hair up their butt and decides, well, that's a great time to start a fire and really cause a lot of trouble. So whatever it is, and I'm sure that the investigations have already begun. If there's any word on it, I don't know. Like I said, I'm kind of out of touch a little bit news wise. I just know things on the periphery, but it's devastating. And this is my home. This is my home. And the one thing I can say is this stuff never should have happened. You cannot prevent fires from happening, but you can take measures to minimize the damage once a fire starts. And when firefighters try to open up hydrants to start putting out fires, homes, brush, schools, whatever it might be, and there's no water coming out of the hydrants, there's a problem. There's a problem. And there's there are some political figures within the state of California, and certainly within the city and county of Los Angeles. There's some political figures that should be looking to resign, because not only the figures in city of Los Angeles and the county of Los Angeles, but the governor of the state of California, they should all be looking to resign. You guys should be turning in your letters of resignation by Monday morning. You really should, because the people of California don't deserve what has happened. And as I said, you can't always prevent every fire. Yes, you can take all the measures, but you can't always prevent every fire, but you can minimize the damages that they cause. It just shouldn't happen. It just shouldn't happen. And this is my state. This is my home. Now, me personally, I'm so thankful that to this point, Catherine and I haven't been affected by it. But there are people out there that have been affected. There are people that I know and love that have been affected by this. It just shouldn't happen. It's devastating. I'm blessed. I've had some friends from out of state that have been reaching out to me and checking on me to make sure I'm good. And I thank them so much. I love them for that. And I'm doing all right. We are far enough away right now, but you never know. And apparently the winds are going to be, they may not be as brutal as they were early on in the week, but in Southern California, it doesn't take much. So, but I've heard, as a matter of fact, I did see a bit on the news here in my room that the winds are supposed to continue for the next couple of days. So it's tough. It's tough. And I pray for each and every person, family that has been affected by this, that may have lost a business, lost a home, lost their lives. Know somebody that lost their life in this tragedy. Fortunately, right now, casualties are at a minimum. It could be a whole lot worse. I think they're talking about 11 or 12, but there's probably 11 or 12 too many. So, they try to say that, oh, we're in a drought, we're in a drought, we're in a drought. Well, last year we had an incredibly wet winter. The year before, we had an incredibly wet winter. This year, we've had absolutely like zero rain, but it doesn't matter because Northern California gets a bunch of rain. Okay. They get a lot of rain throughout the course of the year. And that's where we were getting a lot of our water from in Central and Southern California. It's not happening anymore. But not only that, there have been measures put in place, not measures. There have been attempts to put in place ways of capturing rainwater. And I'll give you an example. One of our driest winters was in 2013. We received a whole 3 inches of rain. This is how minimal this is. Minimal and maximum. If they captured that rainwater, 3 inches of rain, 3 inches. Everybody knows 3 inches. Okay. But you capture 3 inches of rainwater. That is roughly 20 billion gallons of water. Enough for half of the people of the city of Los Angeles. But we don't capture the rainwater, and it runs right off into the ocean. So, there's just things like that happen that shouldn't happen. And my heart aches for the people that have been affected. I don't know what I'd be doing if I was actually at home. If I was at home now, having to work in the areas I generally don't work specifically in the areas that are affected, but to be in Southern California around that, I just don't know. I would probably fall apart. So it just shouldn't happen. All right. And I don't want to bring everyone down. I don't want to bring this podcast down, to a screeching halt. But I needed to address that. I wanted to talk about it because it's a serious thing. It's a serious thing. And through all the fun that I have on this show with you guys, and we kid each other back and forth. I couldn't get by without discussing it. Okay. That's all. It's just a serious matter. And so I'll leave it at that. So what's coming up? I brought some stuff with me to try and do some show prep for some future episodes that are coming up. I don't want to pimp them right now, but man, I'm getting hammered by your comments here. I see them. They just keep coming one right after another. So thank you. I appreciate it. So I'm trying to get some show prep done for a couple episodes that maybe I can get done as soon as I get back home. And I'm looking forward to it. Some good stuff. It's just some good, fun stuff. And then besides work, I just come and hang out in my room. I got home today. It was good. And I got in and went up to the fitness center, got a little workout. It's great. I thought I was going to end my streak. I have yes, no, you're welcome. You comment anytime. But I had a 35-week streak on Tonal. And as soon as I got word that I was coming up here, I was like, oh my gosh, my streak, it's going to end. So I hadn't had a chance this week. Today I grabbed my phone and I went on the Tonal app, and there are some off Tonal workouts that you can do. So yes, so I was able to get one in. I'm up to 36 weeks now, baby. 36-week streak. Yes. So the streak is going to stay alive. I'm pretty satisfied with that. 36 weeks. It's great. It's almost a year. Come on. It's almost a year. I know I look horrible. I look terrible. I should put my glasses on, then I can really see. No, I don't want to put them on. Then I really see how bad I look. Oh man. My eyes are red. I'm unshaven. Face is pink. Oh, terrible. But it's all right. We're gonna have a good time, right? So hey, thank you for that. Thank you. Thank you so much. Trying. Um, yeah, so I got in my workout and then I thought, oh, I got to do my laundry. So I went and did my laundry. And oh, you're only seeing from the neck up, please. Um, and was doing my laundry, and then I got to go get something to eat. So I went down the street, grabbed myself a Philly cheesesteak. It's good stuff. And oh, it's great. It was this. You got to see it. It was this combo shop. They do donuts and coffee and all kinds of other, just ice cream and everything else. And then they do burgers and Philly cheesesteaks. They do breakfast. And then they also have Mediterranean food. I mean, you want something, it's there. It was great. So I thought, I'm gonna give this a shot. First off, I had like 40 minutes before I was going live. So I thought, well, I can't go far. So I went down there, grabbed some stuff, and the guy still had donuts left over from this morning. You know, you guys know me. I'm sorry. Yeah, I might look healthy. Well, I know I'm healthy. It's good. I kid. But I love my donuts. You know that. So I grabbed 3 donuts out of the case and ate one of them while I was waiting for my Philly cheesesteak. But I got my Philly cheesesteak back here and I'm eating it. And I'm looking at the clock on the computer. And then I'm thinking, oh, wait a second. I got to get my laundry. So it's 8 minutes to 7. And of course, I started at 7:05. So I started a few minutes late. I run down to the laundry room, grab my laundry, throw it out on the bed so it doesn't get too wrinkled. And then I finish eating my sandwich. And I thought, well, I didn't put out a notice. So nobody really knows I'm going on live tonight. So if I go a few minutes late, it's cool. So that's why I did start at 7:05 instead of 7:00. And I was just going to have some fun. That's all. Just having some fun. That's what's been going on here in Seattle. That's what's going on with me. We'll see how next week goes. If everything goes well, we might have the same setup. I don't know. I was thinking maybe I might take the laptop down to the lobby, or even better than that, there's a restaurant, a bar and grill down down on the first floor of the restaurant, and maybe I'll take the laptop in there and just start streaming and just grab some people and then come on and say hey or something. I don't know. We'll do something stupid, okay? As long as everything works out. I'll try to keep you notified, but if I don't, just stick around, all right? Just if you're all subscribed to the channel, you'll get the notification when I go live, even if it's at the last minute. Yeah, you're right there. You got it. I will. I'll try to get that done too. I do. I try to work on my form. Try to make sure the form is good. Form is more important than anything else. So, hey, all right, look, we normally go about an hour on Friday Night Live. We're not doing that tonight. I'm going to cut you loose. We had a good time. Got to talk some silly stuff. Got to talk some serious stuff. And we'll see what happens for next week. Just stay tuned. Stay plugged in. You can, follow this stuff on Facebook. Well, let's see. No, right. Nah, I don't want to do that. Wait, nah, just leave it right there. It's all good. So we'll kind of leave it at that. Hey, the only reason I would raise my camera is so you don't see my turkey neck here. Okay. See if I raise, or if I raise it like so. Hang on a second here. See, if I raise it like so, then you don't see my turkey neck as much. But it's okay. It's all right. Look, hey, I have a proper studio at home. So one, I'm a little further away from the camera, and secondly, it's a little bit higher too. So it's all good. It's all good. But whatever. Remember, we'll work on it for next week. We'll see how that all goes. All right. So I'm going to cut you loose. Okay. As a reminder, this podcast is available everywhere that podcasts are streaming. Everywhere. Just look it up and boom, there it is. Okay. However, if you're watching on YouTube, because you can't resist this, I can't resist it. Maybe you can't too. But I appreciate you watching on YouTube. But if you do, please, you have to subscribe to the channel. Okay. You have to give me a thumbs up. Also, you have to hit that notification bell too. Okay. Got to hit the notification bell after you subscribe. Then you got to give me a thumbs up. And then you got to leave a comment, because I read the comments. I reply to your comments. All right. So, and last but not least, you have to follow me on Instagram, Ben Maynard Program, all one word. Okay. Sound good? All right. So with that, we're done. I'm cutting you loose. Thank you so much for being here, spending a little bit of your Friday evening. It's great. On the road here, Friday Night Live here in Seattle. Okay. This is the Ben Maynard Program. And don't tell a friend, tell 10,000 of your family and friends. All right? We'll see you next time. Take care.